Hello and welcome to this hour-long mindful yoga practice. Mindful flow yoga practice, I should say. We're going to begin today in child's pose, so let's start to make our way there. If you're not 100% sure what child's pose looks like, I want you to take your knees nice and wide, perhaps even mat width apart, and have your big toes touching. And then rest the hands down in front and the forehead toward the floor. Now, if child's pose doesn't feel good in your body, then you're very welcome to come onto your back as an alternative. The knees are drawing into the chest, but again, big toes are touching and the knees are coming wide. So just see whatever feels best for you. Moving into that space, it could be that your arms are lengthening out in front. It may well be that it feels more comfortable for your shoulders to have your hands resting back by your heels. So just have a little explore, notice what's going on in your body today, and when you're ready, gently allow your eyes to close. And just start to tune into your natural breath. And see what it is that your breath has to tell you today. It could be that your breath is quite shallow, perhaps just a gentle rise and fall in your heart space, or perhaps you're naturally breathing all the way down into your belly. There's no right or wrong, just become aware. And then start to explore your physical body as it is right now. Scan from the top of your head toward the tips of your toes and just start to check in on each space of your body. Become aware if any spaces are carrying a bit of tightness or tension, any niggles. And if you can identify some spaces that are a bit like that, then have an intention to send your breath into those spaces. Even if it's physically impossible to breathe into that space, I want you to imagine your inhales traveling into that area. And with each breath out, a sense of maybe even a sigh of relief, a sense of letting go or surrendering. And sometimes it's the case that we can't exactly physically shift things that are going on in our body. But at least when we use our breath, we can set an intention to move them out or move them on. Notice whether you're unconsciously holding on to any tension in your jaw, your shoulders. Relax the space between your eyebrows and your tummy. And just feel everything growing a little bit softer. Notice how you are doing energetically today as well. So not just checking in on your energy levels themselves, but also noticing your mood. Let go of any labels that you attach to that energetic feeling or that mood. See it for what it is. And begin to allow your breath to travel a little bit deeper now. So incrementally, breath by breath, just taking in a little bit more air until you can feel your inhales flowing all the way down toward the base of your belly, expanding out into your abdomen, lifting up into the chest, sending the rib cage wide, maybe even lifting up toward the collarbones like you're trying to breathe right up into the top of your head. And as you exhale, just having that sense of slowly deflating, letting go. Maybe you're squeezing the last drops of air from your lungs as you reach the end of your out breath. And continue like that, so nice long deep breaths in. And as you exhale, having that sense of gently drawing belly button back to spine, deflating through the torso, each drop of air just being squeezed out from the lungs until you're empty. And then start to connect with this diaphragmatic breath, or perhaps an ujjayi breath if you can. So bringing a restriction into the back of the throat. And if you're not sure what that looks like, sounds like, then just take a moment, part the lips, and breathe in and out through the lips as though you were trying to fog up a dirty mirror with your breath. There's a sound to the breath. And even if you're very familiar with ujjayi, sometimes it just feels like quite a nice release to breathe like that with the mouth open a couple of times. Almost that long lion's breath like exhale. And then when you're ready, close the lips. Keep that restriction in the throat, that same sensation, and continue to breathe through your slightly more restricted airway. Notice how the breath gradually grows a little bit longer. Maybe how the breath moves slightly slower as well. And tune into that sound. I always imagine with my ujjayi breath that I'm watching waves crashing against a shore. Just hearing them rolling in and then being drawn out naturally. So allowing the sound of your breath to be the thing that keeps you grounded today, that keeps you centered. If your mind starts to take you elsewhere, take you into the past or into the future, then just come back to the sound of that breath, the sound of the waves crashing against the shore. And feel connected to the present moment. Whilst we pause here for our few last big breaths, look inwards. Have you got an intention for your practice today? Don't worry if you haven't, or if nothing naturally comes into your mind. But if there is someone or something that you want to dedicate this practice to today, then just taking a moment to bring them into your mind's eye now. And yes, that person can be you, if you need to fill up your cup today. Well done. If the hands are resting back by the hips, extend them out in front now, so the fingertips are reaching in the direction of the top of the mat, and come up onto the fingertips so that you've kind of got those Spider-Man-like hands. Take a nice deep breath, send it into the back of the shoulders, right between the shoulder blades. As you exhale, send your tailbone back toward your heels and lengthen your hands forwards. So if you're on your back, you're just stretching the arms up overhead like me. Let's move into a little side stretch to begin. So take a nice inhale and begin to walk the hands over to the right side, just as far as they can naturally go. Feel a gentle opening through your left side body. And if you want more, take your left hand and stack it on top of the right, or if you're lying on your back, take hold of your right wrist. Deep breath into left side waist. If you're in traditional child's pose, as you exhale, have that sense of pressing the left sit bone down towards your heel a little bit further. And notice how that opens up the side body even more. Try to use your breath to melt any edges that you're feeling here, any types of restriction or tightness. And if you can't melt it down with the breath, then ease out slightly. Get in tune with the breath and then see if you can come a little bit deeper. But remaining connected to the breath. Well done. Inhale, walk the hands back to center and then pat them all the way over to the left side of the mat, just opening up through the right side body nice and gently. If you want to take it deeper again, as you exhale, pile your right hand on top of your left, or if you're on your back, grab hold of left wrist. Nice deep breath all the way down toward right sit bone. As you exhale, if you're in traditional child's pose, press the right sit bone back toward your heel and feel a deeper opening through right side body. Regardless of what variation you're in, relax the neck and let go of your jaw. Keep the eyes closed here. Again, that sense of melting down any resistance or edges that you're feeling in this pose. With a sense that every day our body feels a little bit different. So if you're tighter or perhaps a little bit looser today, that's fine. Just notice. Remaining connected to your breath so that you're present in this moment. Well done. Gently walk the hands back to the center. This time spread the palms wide if you're in traditional child's pose and press up onto all fours. If you're on your back, roll yourself over to one side and gently start to make your way up. So taking a moment here, just ensuring that your hips stack over top of your knees and tuck under your toes so you've got a little bit of a stretch going on through the soles of the feet. Inhale nice and deeply into the center of your heart space. And then as you breathe out, gently walk your hands out in front of you, coming into Anahatasana, puppy pose. So keep the butt stacked over top of knees and just start to drop your heart space down toward the floor. And it might be that you're able to bring your forehead to the mat. It could be, if you're very open through the chest, through the pectoral muscles and the shoulders, that you can bring your chin down to the mat and look forwards. No prizes for getting into any particular variation here. Just close your eyes and see what feels best for you. So this posture is a really good opportunity just to tune into what's going on through the front body, through the shoulders. Make sure that you're connected with your Ujjayi breath and you're lengthening your exhales. Again, just to melt down any tightness that you might be experiencing in the heart space, in the collarbones, maybe in the back of the neck or the shoulder blades. Unclenching your jaw. Well done. On your next breath in, look forwards towards your hands, so lift the head up and then slide your body forwards to come all the way down onto your belly. Coming into Sphinx pose now, so elbows are stacking underneath the shoulders. Grip the mat with your fingertips, almost like you're a cat sort of clawing your fingers into a cushion or something. Nice big breath in. And then as you exhale, have a sense of drawing your chest energetically between your elbows. And then a sense that you're energetically drawing your elbows back to your hips. So you start to feel, again, this gorgeous opening through your mid-spine, through your thoracic spine. Tuck chin to chest to keep that length through the back of your neck. And allow your legs to be nice and soft here. See if you can press your little toenail down into the floor as well as your big toenail. And this is a really good way of opening up through the low back. One more big breath into the center of your heart space. And then as you exhale, come all the way down onto your belly. Place your hands underneath your shoulders and press back into child's pose one more time. If child's pose doesn't feel good for you, you can hang out in your puppy pose or anahatasana again. So just taking a moment in your child's pose or your anahatasana to acknowledge this is your checkpoint. So if you need to just take a pause today at any point, then you're very welcome to return back to this space. Okay, so from here, when you feel ready to start to lift bottom away from heels and tuck toes, let's move into downward facing dog. So hover the knees, send the butt high, press the chest back toward the thighs, backs of the legs lengthening. And take a moment or two here just to pedal out through the feet. Maybe just saying hello to your hamstrings, your calves, noticing what's going on in that space. And as you work into the low body, keep upper body soft, so neck is relaxed, shoulders are soft, and jaw is unclenched. Move in time with your breath, so inhale to send one heel to the floor, perhaps exhale the opposite. Well done. Slowly start to find your way to stillness. And we'll pause here for a few breaths just to really feel into our down dog today. So make sure your fingers are spread super wide, and as you press down through the hands, you feel the connection of every single knuckle and your thumb, every single knuckle into the mat. Work your awareness to your wrists and have a sense of trying to lift the wrists up and away from the floor so you're not kind of collapsing down into the arms. And then as you take your awareness into the elbows, have a slight softening here so you're not fully locking out the arms, and a sense of hugging into the center line. Relax shoulders from ears, allow the upper back to broaden, the heart space to feel open. A sense that from the top of your head to your tailbone is one long line of energy. So if the back is rounding here, soften into the knees a little bit more so that you can create a nice long spine. Belly naturally draws in here. We get that Uddiyana Bandha, that greyhound feeling in the belly. And then start to draw the awareness down the backs of the legs. Maybe taking some nice big exhales if you're a little bit tighter through the hamstrings or the calves today. Flickering the eyes open to look back at the feet. Make sure that the heels are turned out ever so slightly. So as you gaze at your little toe, you can see the outer edge of your little toe lines up with the outer edge of your heel. Now draw up through the inner arches and feel the inner seams of your legs lifting up towards your pelvic floor muscles. Really nice, taking a mental note of this alignment. And then using the length of your inhale to rise up onto the balls of the feet, to ripple upper body forwards like your wave crashing onto the shore, and to pause as you find your way into high plank. Inner thighs squeeze in, that sense of pressing through the palms to arch up between shoulder blades. Exhale, lower both knees down to the mat, and then chest and belly follow all the way to the floor. Inhale, low cobra, walk the hands a little further forwards than usual, and again have that sense of trying to drag the mat back toward the hips as you lift forwards and up. So you're trying to create space through the spine rather than kind of pressing up and compressing into the low back. On your exhale, heart space moves forwards and down. Hands come underneath the shoulders, curl the toes under, find your way back into your downward facing dog. And beginning to flow through by synchronizing the breath. Inhale, rising up onto the tips of the toes, rippling forwards into your high plank. Exhale, lowering both knees down to the floor, belly button to spine, and the elbows just dusting the side rib cage as you come all the way down. Inhale, low cobra, drag the heart space forward, slide shoulder blades away from the ears. Exhale, heart space down, tuck toes, downward facing dog. Final time, inhale, ripple forwards, find high plank. If you're ready for chaturanga here, feel free to take it by rocking onto the tips of the toes. Come halfway down, chest lines up with elbows, pause. And then inhale, coming forward, So remember, you can take your cobra again or upward facing dog. Try and have a bit of softness in the elbows. You're not looking out into the joint. Exhale all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Have a sense that the crown of your head is being energetically drawn down toward the floor. On your next breath in, stretch your right leg toward the ceiling. And then bend the right knee to open through the hip, both shoulders square to the mat. Take a big inhale. Exhale, right knee, right elbow, draw forwards, pause there, squeezing belly button to spine. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, right knee, nose, come all the way forwards, hug thigh to chest. Inhale, stretch right leg high. And exhale, right knee, left elbow, draw across the body, pause, hover. And inhale, stretch your right leg high again. This time on your out breath, step your right foot to the outer edge of your right hand. Well done. Easy twisting lunge. Inhale, right arm high, lift up through the fingertips and look toward the right thumb. Opening up through the chest, pressing hips forwards. Exhale, lower right hand to the inner edge of right foot. Ground the left heel to the floor and sweep your left arm alongside your ear, coming into side angle variation. If this is too much on the hips, right forearm can rest on the thigh. Breathe in, stretch through left fingertips a little bit further, open through side waist. Breathe out, lower your hands down to the floor and step your left foot forwards, coming into a nice wide-footed forward fold. Feet are mat width apart here. Soften into the knees so that chest and belly are sandwiched together, and you can either stay as you are or coming into Malasana, Yogic Squat, by turning the toes out, sitting the butt toward the heels and bringing the hands to prayer position at your heart center. Moving into a twist here, right hand to floor, left hand to sky, look up toward the left thumb and open your chest. If you're able to bind, left hand comes behind the low back, perhaps seeing if you can wrap the right arm around and reach for opposite fingertips. Don't worry if you can't quite grab the opposite hand. Inhale up into left side chest. Exhale, roll left shoulder blade back a little bit more, open up through your heart space. Exhale, look down, bring the fingertips down to the floor, forward fold, lift the bottom high, drop the head down. On your inhale, draw belly button to spine, slow and steady spinal roll all the way up. And then on your exhale, roll shoulder blades back and turn palms forwards. Feet are still wide. Inhale, soften into the knees, hands resting on your bottom. Exhale, press your hips forwards into space, lift up through the center of the chest and start to either gaze to ceiling or drop the gaze toward the wall behind you. Squeeze into your bottom and pull in the tummy. Use your inhale to rise all the way back up to the top. And as you reach there, take the hands above the head and move your drishti, your gaze, to your thumbs. Exhale, soften knees and forward fold. Again, either staying in this wide-footed forward fold or turning the toes outwards, finding Malasana, Yogic Squat, bottom toward heels. This time, left hand to floor, right arm to sky, reach up and gaze to top thumb. Option to take the bind, right hand behind low back, reaching for opposite left fingertips. Inhale into the right shoulder. Exhale, roll right shoulder back and open your chest a little bit further toward the ceiling. Feel that rotation through the spine. Good. Exhale, look down, lower the hands to the inner edge of the feet. Step your right foot back. Ground your right heel down to the floor. Coming into our side angle pose, lengthen the right arm alongside your ear. Open up through your side waist. Remember, if this is too much, if it's too deep for the hip, left forearm to thigh. Exactly the same posture, exactly the same benefits. Next, inhale, look underneath the right armpit, see if you can turn your heart space open a little bit further. Exhale, lower right hand to the inner edge of the front foot, come onto the ball of your back foot and lift your left arm high. Easy twisting lunge, gaze up. Exhale, hands touch down to floor, step back, high plank. Use the length of your exhale to come down either through half or full chaturanga. Breathing in, sliding the heart space forwards to cobra or upward facing dog. And exhaling all the way up and back into downward facing. Close the eyes, take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Soften shoulders from ears, let the head go. Inhale, stretch your left leg toward the ceiling. Bend your knee to open up your hips, shoulders remain square to the mat. On your next exhalation, left knee, left elbow, draw forwards, hover there, belly button to spine. Inhale, stretch your left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, draw forwards, pause, press the mat away. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, left knee, right elbow, draw across, see if you can maybe tap elbow or knee to elbow, I should say. Inhale, stretch your left leg high. Exhale, left foot to the outer edge of left hand again, and lower the back knee down to the floor this time, lizard lunge. So nice deep breath up into your heart space. And on your exhale, you have the option of lowering down onto the forearms if that feels comfortable for you. If not, stay up on the hands. Keep squeezing the left knee into outer left shoulder to feel your left glute and hip switch on. As you breathe in, soften chin to chest, relax your neck. Either stay as you are or moving into a twist from here by breathing in and stretching your left hand toward the wall behind you. If you're able to take the quad stretch, bend the right knee and hold onto the top of your foot. Wherever you are, relax your neck. Close the eyes and just explore the sensations in your body right now. Well done. Gently release. Spiral the left hand down to the floor if you're in your twist. Step forwards into your wide foot forward fold again. Bottom is high. Gaze down to the floor, relax the neck. Deep breath in. Again, either stay as you are or toes out, heels in. Malasana, Yogic Squat, sit butt to heels, hands to prayer position at heart center. Deep breath in. Exhale, soften shoulders from ears. Moving into our twist again, this time left hand to floor first, right arm to sky, open up through your chest. Option to wrap your hands behind to find the bind. Remember, if you're in your forward fold, you can also do a little twist here by placing left hand to floor and right arm to sky. Good, look down, spiral hands to floor. Lift the bottom, forward fold. Big breath in, press the mat away, draw belly button in, and take a spinal roll up to standing. Head arrives last, shoulders roll back at the top. Exhale, hands to bottom, soften into the knees, press the hips forwards, and then roll the shoulders back. Start to find your back bend from here. No competition for who can go the deepest. Just think about trying to lift up through the center of your chest as much as possible. So there's no compression in the lumbar spine. Inhale, rising all the way up to the top. Reach your hands to the ceiling, look toward the thumbs. And then exhale, soften through the knees and forward fold. Good. Either pausing here in your wide-footed forward fold or turning your toes out, heels in, bending through the knees and finding your way into Malasana. Right side this time, right hand to floor, left arm to sky, lift up. Deep breath into the center of your chest, roll left shoulder back. Option to come into your twist here again, and your bind here again, I should say. Unclench your jaw and try to soften into your belly. Have a sense that you're energetically pressing down through the heels so that you're not just slumping down to the floor through your bottom. Excellent work. Gently release. Spiral hands to floor. Come back into your forward fold shape, feet are parallel. This time stepping your left foot to the back of your mat and lowering the back knee down. So ensure that the outer edge of right foot is still towards the outer edge of the mat. Nice deep inhale into heart space. Exhale, you have the option to come down onto elbows, but only if it feels okay for your body. Again, close the eyes here. Locate a few spaces in the body where you can soften and release. Highlight the spaces where you are holding some resistance or tension. See if you can soften those edges with your breath. If you did on the first side, twisting this time by taking the right arm out behind you, lengthening through the fingertips. And if it's possible to take your quad stretch, bend your left knee and take hold of the top of your foot. Big breaths all the way up into your right shoulder as you roll your shoulder open. Exhale, relax your neck, let it go. Head is heavy. Another big inhale. Exhale, spiral your hands down to the floor, step back, high plank. Use the length of your exhale to lower down. Elbows dusting side ribs as you come down toward the floor. Inhale, press the mat away with the tops of the feet as you find cobra or up dog. And then exhale, pressing up and back into downward facing. Feel the connection between the palms of the hands and the mat. That sense that as you inhale, you're drawing up the strength and stability of the earth beneath you. Breathe in, stretch your right leg to sky. Bend your knee to open your hip. Look forward, step your right foot between your hands and lower the back knee down to the floor. Breathe in, stretch the arms up either sides of the ears, low lunge. Exhale, curl under the tailbone, start to sink into your front knee a little bit deeper and feel a deep opening through your left hip flexor. Take your right hand down onto the right thigh. Inhale, stretch up into left fingertips. Exhale, squeeze inner thighs together and take a side stretch toward the right. So left fingertips are reaching up and over the head. Feel that deep opening through your left side waist and hip. Unclench your jaw. Meet any resistance or tension with that deep breath. Maybe your deep Ujjayi breath. Well done. On your next inhale, come up to the top and then exhale, cross the left elbow over the right knee. Make a fist in your left hand and then spread your right hand over the top as we come into a twisted lunge variation. Breathe in, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, press top hand into bottom to revolve through your spine. Feel that slight tension between your left elbow and right thigh as one presses into the other. And then curl under back toes and perhaps see if you can float the back knee away from the floor. If this is too much, don't worry, keep the left knee grounded. On your exhale, maybe relaxing the neck again and challenging yourself by allowing left ear to travel to left shoulder. Holding it for a last few breaths. If you're able to bind here, please feel free to take it. Remember, if you're binding with a strap, that's perfectly okay. Do whatever feels best for you. Exhale, look down toward the floor. Spiral your hands either side of front foot. Step your left foot in slightly and come into a half standing split by lifting your left heel up in line with left hip. As you inhale, press through your left heel so the back leg is straight. And as you exhale, think about trying to wrap the outer left hip down toward the floor. Feel a deep stretch through your right hamstring. Maybe even right IT band outer hip. Keep lengthening through the crown of your head. Another big breath in. Exhale, step your left foot behind your right. So you're making like a little crisscross shape with the legs here. If fingertips now don't reach the floor, hands to front shin, big breath in. And then exhale, forward fold over your legs. Relax your neck, let the head hang down. Close the eyes. See how it feels to rock the weight slightly further forwards into the toes. Inhale, lift heart space, soften into your knees. Step your left foot and then your right foot to the back of the mat to find a high plank. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest and chin or full chaturanga. Inhale, heart space opens, shoulders roll back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in, long breath out, let it go. Inhale, left leg reaches high. Bend your knee to open up through your hip space. Look ahead, step left foot between your hands. Lower back, knee down to the mat. Inhale, low lunge, reach the arms up alongside your ears. Exhale, squeeze into your bottom and sink a little lower into the front knee. Those nice deep inhales travelling all the way down into the top of your right hip flexor. Unclench your jaw and soften the shoulder blades away from your ears. Side stretch, left hand to left thigh. Inhale all the way up into right fingertips. And then as you exhale, start to stretch the right arm up and overhead toward the left side. Feel that deep opening through right side body. Keeping the glutes switched on. Inner thighs squeezing in. Inhale, come up to the top. Exhale, cross right elbow over left thigh. Coming into our twisted variation. So make a fist with your right hand, spread your left hand over top. Breathe into the top of your head and lengthen through the spine first. And then on the exhale, press top hand into bottom and begin to turn through the chest. If this feels great, stay here. If you want to challenge yourself more, then see if you can curl under back toes and lift right knee. Option 2, relax right ear to right shoulder. Unclench the jaw. Feel that sense of traction between your right elbow and the outer edge of your left thigh. Feel into the foundation of your posture, into your left big toe and into your right heel. Look down, fingertips either side of front foot, half standing split. So lifting the right heel up. Now remember, this isn't about height here. We don't want our toes to be pointing up toward the ceiling. If anything, we want our right heel to be in line with the hip. We took a big breath in. Back leg is straight, so reaching through your heel as much as you can, like you want to put a footprint on the wall behind you, and then roll the outer right hip down to the floor. As soon as you let the right hip roll down, you'll feel a much deeper opening through the back of your left leg. So tune into that and meet the intensity of the opening with your deep breath. I've got a massive wobble going on in my left leg today. So if you're wobbling, don't worry. You're not alone. Good. Crossing right leg behind the left to make that crisscross shape with the legs. Remember, if the floor suddenly feels too far away, hands onto front shin. Take a nice big inhale and then exhale. Just let your torso hang forward. Relax your neck and allow your head to hang super, super heavy. Now remember, just feel into what's going on in the legs by subtly rocking the weight forwards into the toes, maybe back toward the heels or side to side, just noticing how that changes the quality and the depth of the stretch. And choose to stay in a spot that feels really interesting for you. That doesn't necessarily mean the most intense stretch, or perhaps the easiest stretch. Just see what feels good. Pause there. Close the eyes and turn your gaze inwards. Explore what's going on in that space. Soften the rest of the body, the shoulders, the head, the neck. One more big breath in. Exhale, step right foot toward the back of the mat. Left foot comes all the way back. And then releasing down toward the floor. Knees, chest and chin, or full chaturanga. Sweeping heart space forwards and up. Cobra or upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale, soften shoulders from ears, relax your neck. Breathe in, sweep your right leg high. Bend your knee to open up through your hip. Look ahead and step your right foot between your hands. High lunge, stay high on back toes, lengthen the arms above the head. Now on your next inhale, balloon the breath into your belly. As you exhale, soften into the back knee slightly and curl under the tailbone. Feel that deep stretch through the front of your left hip flexor. Eagle arms, right arm underneath left. If the shoulders are super tight or if you're quite muscular in shoulders, you can hold opposite. Otherwise, wrapping forearms. Maybe palms or backs of the hands meet. Inhale, wherever you are, lift the elbows up as high as you can. And then exhale, press the elbows forwards into space. Feel into the deep release through the back of your shoulders. And maybe touch chin to chest to find a little bit more length in the back of your neck. On your next inhale, split the arms, ground the back foot to the floor, warrior two. Ensure you're pressing through the outer edge of the front foot as you gaze towards the right fingertips. Finding archer arms this time, right hand to sky. Lower the fingertips to the space between your shoulders and sweep your left hand around. Now if you can't quite grab opposite fingertips, take hold of a couple of different places on your t-shirt and just draw the elbows nice and wide. Inhale, bend down into the front knee a little bit lower. Exhale, coming into a reverse warrior variation. Open up through right side waist by reaching your right elbow toward the wall behind you. Soften the toes, make sure you're not gripping the mat with the toes. Another deep breath into right side ribs. Exhale, gently come up, lengthen through the front leg and spiral the arms around into triangle pose. So the right hand comes toward the back of the right hand comes towards the front shin and left fingertips lengthen up toward the ceiling. Again, try to avoid gripping mat with toes. Make sure the toes are soft and press down through the heels. Attention to inner thighs, squeezing up and inwards. And perhaps as you exhale, relax the neck, right ear to right shoulder. Ensure the chest is open by pressing the hips forwards and leaning upper body back ever so slightly. Another deep breath in. Exhale, spiral your left hand down to the floor and bend into your front knee. Heel toe your right foot slightly wider. You're in kind of a runner's lunge stance now with the ball of your left foot to the floor. Inhale, lengthen through the left heel a little bit further. Exhale, sink down through the hips slightly and squeeze in through the bottom. Relax chin to chest. And big breath into belly. Exhale, step right foot to the back of your mat. Lowering down through knees, chest and chin or chaturanga. Close the eyes and be mindful during your transitions. Arriving in down dog at your own speed. Breathe in, stretch left leg to sky. Bend your knee open through your hip. Look ahead, step left foot between your hands. High lunge. So we're high on the back toes, arms reaching up alongside the ears. Inhale down to low belly. Exhale, soften back knee and tuck tailbone. Strong breaths into the front of your right thigh. Unclench your jaw. Eagle arms, left arm underneath right this time. If your shoulders are tight or if you're quite muscular, maybe holding opposite shoulders, otherwise wrapping the forearms. Inhale, lift elbows slightly higher. Exhale, press the elbows forwards into space to broaden between the backs of your shoulders. Soften chin to chest so back of the neck remains long. Unclench your jaw. Feel with each exhalation that the muscle fibers in your right hip flexor are lengthening away from one another. Inhale deeply. Exhale, split the arms, ground back, heel, warrior two, lengthen out through fingertips. Press through the outer edge of your front foot as you turn your drishti, your gaze, toward the left middle finger. Sink nice and low into front knee. Arch your arms, inhale, left arm high. Bend the elbow to dangle fingertips between the shoulders and then sweep the right hand around. Remember, if you can't grab opposite fingertips, take hold of a couple of different places on your top. Deep breath into left side rib cage. Exhale, sink a little lower into the left knee and then open up through left side body by reaching the left elbow toward the wall behind you. Unclench your jaw. Feel into the space you've created just above the left hip. Triangle, begin to straighten the front leg, release the arms and spiral them all the way around. So the left hand moves to the left shin, right arm reaches up nice and high. Inhale up into right side chest, rolling right shoulder back to balloon your heart space toward the ceiling. Again, awareness into your feet. Maybe even lifting the toes here as you exhale, squeeze the heels towards one another without actually moving through the legs. And notice how that initiates a drawing in and up through the central line of the legs into your pelvic floor. Keep thinking of belly button gently drawing into spine, tailbone curling under, and as the hips press forwards, the upper body leans back ever so slightly. Now relax the neck. Look down, spiral hands to the inner edge of the front foot. Come up onto the ball of your back foot. You're in a runner's lunge stance. Take a big breath in. Exhale, reach through your right heel. Back leg is nice and long. And just pause here. Feel the strength of your legs. Press through the heel of your left foot and reach through the heel of your right foot. Squeeze into your bottom. On your next breath in, step your left foot to the back of your mat, high plank. Moving through your vinyasa mindfully, exhale to lower. Inhale, heart space opens. Exhale, downward facing. Relax the head, let the neck soften. Look forwards, take right knee directly behind right wrist. Pigeon pose. Slide the left knee back a few inches so you can drop the hips down a bit lower. And if right butt is hovering away from the floor, you might like to slide a cushion or something underneath for a bit of extra padding. Take a moment to lift up through your chest, shining your heart space forwards. And then on your exhale, so long as it feels comfortable, walk the hands a little bit further forwards. You might lower down onto the forearms or perhaps eventually bring your forehead to the mat. Wherever you're at, just close your eyes here. And just drink in the stillness and the silence around you. Softening through your edges, outer right hip, the knees, the face. And give yourself time to just be. Next breath in, start to lift up through the chest, walk the hands back towards you. Curl back, toes under, step back to downward facing dog. Give the right leg a little wiggle if it needs it. Releasing any kind of tingling or sensation that you're experiencing in right leg. And we'll take it straight to the left. So inhale, left knee behind left wrist. And then you're gently allowing the right knee to move further behind you. Remember to pad out underneath your left seat if it's hovering away from the floor. Breathe in, lift up through the center of your chest, shoulder blades roll back and together. And then breathe out, walk the hands a little bit further out in front. Maybe you're releasing down onto your forearms, maybe the forehead's coming all the way down to the mat. Unclench your jaw. Just have a few more moments here. Just utterly releasing down. Allow your inhales to sweep into any part of your body, or perhaps even your mind, that needs a little bit of nourishment right now. Your exhale just taking away the stuff that you don't need. Clearing space though, to make way for bigger and better things. Use the length of your next breath in to gently walk the hands back towards you. And if you have anything under your seat, then just slide it over to one side so that you can take your right leg forwards. Releasing the left leg, giving it a really good shake out. Again, just letting go of any kind of sensation that you're experiencing in that space. And from here, we'll begin to make our way onto our back. So soles of feet flat to the floor, bottom scooches in the direction of the heels. Reach the fingertips out in front and then draw belly button to spine to lower yourself all the way down onto your back. And once you arrive there, just let the arms be nice and wide. Bring the soles of the feet mat width apart, so feet are wide too. And we're simply going to just windscreen wipe the legs from side to side in time with the breath. So close the eyes. Inhale, knees go to the right. Exhale, knees come center. Inhale, knees to the left. And just keep that going. And that sense of mindful movement. Feel the low back, the outer hips just easing out a little bit more with each movement. We'll take 2 more big breaths and allow them to be ujjayi breaths or diaphragmatic breaths. Just pay attention to the sound of the breath a couple more times. And on that second exhalation, coming to find your way into final Shavasana, into relaxation. So if you have any sensitivity in low back today, keep the feet mat distance apart, let the knees knock toward one another, a bit like a teepee. Otherwise you can lengthen your legs out along the floor. The arms might like to be wide or resting, a hand onto your heart space, a hand onto your belly. Just choose whatever works best for you in your body today. And if you did need to pop on any layers, grab a blanket, something like that, then take your time to get yourself completely comfortable. And once you're in that comfortable space, allow your eyes to gently close. Turn your internal gaze toward the space between your eyebrows, your intuition center. And as you gaze into that space, notice if any particular thoughts, visualizations, colors, images start to pop up. And just have a sense of lying back and watching the show. And if it is thoughts that are pulsing through your mind, pulsing through that space just between the eyebrows, then that's absolutely fine. Try to let them play out naturally. Try not to get involved in them. Some days it's like tumbleweed passing across the brain, and then other days it's just impossible to slow down that internal chatter. It's like trying to stop a storm. You can't necessarily get involved. It's just a case of riding it out sometimes. Now, if you do have slightly longer for your Shavasana today, I welcome you to stay as long as you possibly can. But if you need to be making your way, then just start by bringing your attention into your hands and feet. Take a couple of deep breaths, and when it feels right, start to allow some movement back in. Maybe there's a wiggle through fingers, a wiggle through toes, maybe there's a little rotation in the wrists and the ankles. And when you're ready, take a nice full body stretch. Lengthen the arms above the head, reach the feet away. Use the length of your exhale to hug your knees in toward the chest, and just rock yourself to one side and pause there. Take a moment. Acknowledge everything that you've achieved today in your yoga practice. Perhaps take a moment to set an intention for the rest of your day. Something simple, something short, something positive. Take a big inhale, let that intention flood into your body. Sigh out through the mouth, let go, and then gently find your way to a comfortable seat when you're ready. And as you arrive there, allow the hands to meet at prayer position at your heart center and bow your chin to chest, keeping the eyes closed. And closing our practice with the sound of Om. If you'd like to join me, take a deep breath in through your nose. Just have a moment there. Allow that vibration which connects us to one another and everything else in the universe to sink into your body. And then when you're ready, bring your prayer hands up to the space between your eyebrows and lengthen up nice and tall. Peace in your thoughts. Prayer hands in front of your lips. Peace in your words. Hand in front of your heart. Peace in your actions. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. It's always a pleasure to teach, so I hope that you enjoy taking part at home as well. If you're joining me on the live stream today, tomorrow morning's practice will be a full-on hour-long dynamic rocket yoga class, which, if you're not familiar, is basically a very fluid vinyasa class where we experiment with some fairly advanced poses, you know, a few more playful poses perhaps. So I look forward to seeing you there if you're up for it. Otherwise, I hope you have a lovely day. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can turn on the notifications if you want to know when I'm going live. All the details are also on my website. And if you are able to or would like to make a contribution towards my classes, any contributions will be gratefully received. There is a PayPal me button which is on my website. Just visit the sjgreenyoga.co.uk and head to the online yoga or online classes page, and it's on there. It's big, it's blue, and you can't miss it. If you can't make a donation, that's absolutely fine. If you wouldn't mind getting the word out there, telling your friends, telling your family, maybe even giving me a little shout out on social media, I would so appreciate that. So thank you so much again for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Namaste.